And rolling. Hope you guys are doing well. Everybody okay? You go live on Periscope. Hey, Facebook, how are you? Good morning. So, you guys see in the title, the industry that lets you. Oh, I'm glad to see you're doing well, Tanya. The industry that allows you to do it your way, the salon industry. The industry that really and truly allows you to do it your way. There are, so many different avenues we can take in the industry based on where we are in our life and our understanding and what we desire. And it's just an amazing industry. So we're going to talk about that on this morning. One more broadcast to sign on with. I'm going to do a quick introduction for those of you who have never experienced me before. You've never been on a live broadcast with me before. I'll let you know a little bit about who I am and what I do. In the meantime, I ask you guys two favors. If you could share the broadcast out, someone else could use the message, someone else who's looking for clarity, or maybe even their next move as it relates to the industry. Maybe they feel limited about what's available to them, and my prayer is that this gives them a measure of clarity and another perspective as it relates to how they rock out in the salon industry. So if you guys could share the broadcast out, there's a button that actually says share on Facebook. You guys can press that. Hey Pam, good morning, darling. How are you? And on Instagram, it's the little airplane symbol. Periscope is 3 little buttons. Benita Epps, good morning. How are you? You can press that. It allows you to share with some of your followers. So yesterday, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, I actually posed a question inside a group that I'm a member of on Facebook. And I asked the question, what made you decide to, one, become self-employed or to become a business owner, a salon business owner? And I was amazed. Hey, Phoenix Rain. Hi, darling. How are you? I was amazed, one, by the number of people that responded. It was almost like this burning opportunity to give people a chance to express why they even rock out, the way they do in the industry. But what was even more surprising to me, hey Kun, how are you, dear? What was even more surprising to me was the reasons behind why people said they decided to become self-employed. For us in the industry, that could be a booth renter, right? Or a salon suite owner, or why they decided to be a salon owner. So multiple answers were because they were tired of the salon owners that they had previously worked with. Now, that's not necessarily what I thought the answers were going to be. Because for me, a lot of times, if I feel like I'm losing my way in the industry, and you guys let me know if you've ever done this before. Maybe you hit a season in your industry where everything feels routine, where you don't feel like you're getting full value out of it. Not that you aren't busy, right? Not that you aren't servicing clients or anything, but where you may just feel like, something is kind of missing, right? And so one of the things I do when I have those times, and they're a lot more rare than they used to be. Mr. Bell's Bondsman, good morning, how are you? They're a lot more rare, but they still occur. And I think those are pivotal times for us in our careers to make different decisions, right? About like how we're rocking out or what's going on. But one of the things that helps me when those things occur is the fact that I understand my vision and I can reconnect back to why I ever even started the thing that I started. Because you guys know we can get into the routine of it, especially those of you who are still full-time behind the chair, or even if you're a salon owner and you still operate fully behind the chair. As we, are in there grinding and doing the busy work, we can easily forget like why we started this thing. And so I learned over time, you have to know your why. Oh my gosh. You have to know your why. That is so true, Phoenix. And you have to stay connected to it, because some of us know our why, but sometimes we forget, and then we find ourselves repeatedly doing things that aren't really connecting us to the real reason why we do what we do anyway, why we really started out in the industry anyway, or our goals or our desires. And oftentimes for, hey Tony, good morning, darling, how are you? Oftentimes for us in the salon industry, the first goal that we have is to get licensed children, right? You know, I'm going to get my license and I'm just going to slay some heads. And then our next goal, almost automatically for probably 90% of the people, is to open a salon, right? And so our goals usually rest somewhere in between those two things. And I think what happens is, because we don't know that there are so many more avenues that we can take in the industry. You guys see the title. I said the industry that lets you do it your way, right? And that's the salon industry. But because we aren't really clear, or maybe we haven't been exposed to all of the other opportunities that are available to us in the industry, whenever we feel like we may be unfulfilled in how we're rocking out, you know, for some hairstylists, it's like, well, I'm gonna go open a salon. So I was telling you guys that I asked the question in the group, like, why did you even start in the industry? So, I mean, guys, it was overwhelming, the number of people who said because they were sick and tired of, one, moody salon owners. They even use the B word as they related to salon owners. Raquel, Eli, how are you? Good morning. Thank you for joining. They used moody staff member, just all kinds of things, which I was shocked, you know. But that was their reason that they decided to jump into salon ownership or to become self-employed, which is very disheartening, right? Tara, good morning, darling. How are you? It's disheartening that we choose the next new path in our career because we almost feel like we were forced to. But out of all of the comments, one, I was mindful to just really listen to understand, because I've played, you know, several roles in the industry. I've worked in a commission salon before. I've been a booth renter before and a salon owner. So I know the view from each one of those spaces. Hey, Tyree, darling, how are you? And the perspectives can be completely different, because oftentimes a booth renter has no idea what it takes to really manage, run, and maintain a salon. But at the same time, some salon owners aren't really clear of the fullness and the measure that it takes to maintain and run a great salon either. Hey Tracy, good morning, darling. How are you? Guys, if this is registering for you, tap the screen, let me know you're with me, and share the broadcast out with another industry professional. Maybe I see a few people on who aren't even in the salon industry. If you want to share it, and maybe your stylist is going through this, or your salon owner is in a position where she could use some of this information, share the broadcast out to your friends and followers so they can get some of the good too. I'd appreciate it. I'm glad to see you're blessed, Tyree. So I said the industry that allows you to do it your way, the salon industry. And so one of the comments that was so profound for me, you know, I was sharing with you guys that, thank you for sharing, darling. Good morning. You're doing well. Awesome, Tracy. One of the things that really stood out for me and this is a group of salon professionals, right, answering the question, why did you start out in the industry, was this one young lady. She didn't say it in like this bashing type of way or anything. Trisha, good morning. How are you? Deetra Farrell, I think I pronounced that properly. How are you, darling? Thank you for joining this morning. This one young lady said something that really stood up for me and just really kind of confirmed, you know, what I really believe about, you know, the different levels of growth that we have in the industry. She said she was tired of working for people she could not look up to. Lord, I'm just going to say that one more time. She said she was tired of working for people she could not look up to. Now, that was so profound, because I believe that our gifts and our talents allow us different measures of success, right? Somebody, you know, who feels like scribing, put that in the comments. Our gifts and talents allow us different measures of success. Now, we all know some really, really gifted people who go really, really far. And but once they get to a certain point, sometimes things crash, right? And for me, what I've learned in my own journey as an entrepreneur, with new endeavors and new things that I desire, new levels that I want to attract into my life, I learned that most oftentimes that occurs because we lack personal development, right? It's not because we weren't amazing stylists, or we didn't have great skill set, but we lack the personal development that allow us to maintain on that level. Tyree says our gifts and talents allow us different levels of success. They do, absolutely. But what is going to sustain you? What is going to continue to attract people into your whatever it is that you're creating? Because we have so much freedom in the industry, right? We can do as stylists, we can be a commission stylist, we can be Simone. Hey darling, good to see you. I haven't seen you on a live in a minute. You've just been doing your thing. We can be a commission stylist. We can be, operate a booth rent situation. We can have a salon suite. We can become a salon owner. We can become an educator or a platform artist. So there's so many areas that we can rock out in the salon industry, right? And most of our gifts and our talents will allow those doors and those opportunities to become available to us. We begin to attract them. But it is our personal development and our character that allows us to sustain it. Y'all don't hear me. It is our personal development, Carla, hey girl, Amanda, that allows us to sustain it. So this particular stylist says she was tired of working for people she could not look up to. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I hear things like that, I go back and I do like a self-check, because I really understand the impact that I have on the lives of those who work with me. Even those of you who watch me on a live, I don't take those opportunities lightly, right? And so I was like, okay, let me make sure, that I am someone that the people who work with me and connect with me can look up to. And, most of that is based on our character, which is why it's so important that as we're deciding what way we want to do it in the industry, that we're making sure that we become, right, the individual that can maintain in that role or in that space, whether it's, you're a commission stylist, you're a booth rent stylist, you operate a salon suite, or you decide salon ownership, you become an educator or platform artist. And so those are some of the ways that you can do it your way in the industry as a stylist. And then as a salon owner, you can operate a booth rent salon, you can operate a commission salon, or you can be an entire landlord, and you can go big time and purchase a piece of real estate property, and then you can own the salon suite building. So we have many levels, right? Many things that we can choose from. But on each one of those levels, each one of those opportunities has levels. And it's so important for you to decide who you are. I'm going to say that again. It's so important for you to decide who you are. I'll give you guys an example. So my mentor had a product line when I worked with her years ago. And so one of the things we did was we would go all around to, different cities and teach about the product, and also about the skill set and the style or whatever that we were doing on stage and things of that nature. So I recognized, after working several different opportunities, whether it's an intimate setting or a larger setting, that I felt more aligned in smaller intimate settings, right? And it's so funny because it's coming full circle now. So what happens is, now that I understand that, I'm okay with the business model that I have as a coach in the industry. So I work with highly driven hairstylists and salon owners who want massive growth, right? Many of them will reach back into the industry and touch the lives of many, many people. I'm their coach, right? I'm their consultant. I'm their transformational growth specialist. And so because I know that, it allows me to operate with smaller groups of people still, because that's who I am. And so I'm sharing this with you guys because understanding who you are is going to let you also know what role or option you may want to choose as a hairstylist or as a salon owner, right? Because they all require different things. Someone put it in the comments. Thanks for those 3 green hearts on Periscope. I appreciate you. They all require different things. Somebody put they all require different things in the comments. So someone who wishes to own a commission salon, you're definitely going to have to operate in a space of giving. So you're going to have 2 teams. They all require different things, guys. You're going to have 2 teams. Your staff is going to be one of your teams, and your clients are going to be the other. Your staff is going to be one of your teams, and your clients are going to be the other. And so many people, when I ask the question, why'd you decide self-employment or to own your own salon? It was disheartening to hear them say, because they were tired of, messy salon owners. And so I think a lot of times what happens, I don't even think this is what I believe. This is where I am aligned. And this is where I have seen significant shifts and differences in people's lives when they have mentorship. And so I feel that many of the disappointment comes because people felt forced to go and get their own place, right? Because they were so frustrated and they hadn't been properly mentored. They hadn't been properly mentored. Like when I first started in the industry, if you didn't have a mentor, it was kind of weird, right? It was kind of weird not to have, never for business. It's usually a personal reason why people open a salon. And so, that's so good, Simone, because basically sometimes we open salons out of our emotions, right? Sometimes we open up salons out of our emotions. I've had people who come to me for private coaching who are struggling to build a clientele, but they said, maybe I should just open a salon. So in our minds, we've taken on this thought process that opening a salon is the end all be all, will be the answer to whatever it is that we desire. And so as much as we have the ability in this industry to do it our way, right? We can do it however we want to do it. There is a way, or there are ways that we can make greater impact and we can build sustainable businesses and get massive growth depending on which option you choose. Hey, Nicole, how are you, dear? And depending on what level you decide that you're going to operate in from that option. And so if you're deciding to be a commission salon owner, when you think about who you are, do you enjoy like serving people, not just the clients, right? Do you enjoy building people? Because that's a huge part. When the young lady said she was tired of working for people she couldn't look up to, that's heavy, guys. That's really, really heavy. So just realize there are certain ways, however we choose to do it in the industry, where people are not looking just for a place to work. They're also at the same time looking for people that they can look up to. And that's when we take on this different responsibility to develop and to grow on a personal level, just as much as we develop and grow in our skill set and things of that nature. Because if people want to look up to us, they're not just looking at the work that we do behind the chair. Somebody tap the screen. That's good stuff. They're not just looking at the work that we do behind the chair. They're looking at how we live our life, how we treat the customers, how integral we are in our processes and what we're doing, right? Like, if you fudge a little bit behind the scenes and the staff sees it, they may hee and ha with you. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear me, right? But it leaves, like a stain in their mind. I gave the example. I actually did a post about this and I gave an example. I said, it's no different from a spousal situation where you're married, right? And, kingdom entrepreneurs, we know that as women, we're supposed to be submissive to our husbands and show them respect. Respect is like the biggest thing for men. But for a woman who knows that her husband behind the scenes is not honorable, y'all tap the screen, right? It's the same thing, children, right? Who knows that her husband is not honorable, right? Now, he may do well in the public or in the public eye, but she knows that he's not honorable. She may find it difficult to submit. She may find it difficult to respect him. It's no different, right? I don't care if he's paying all the bills, if he is, doing amazing things out in the community. That behind the scenes stuff is really where the heart and the connection and the relationship is built. And so it's no different from someone who comes to work with you who has the expectation of having someone they can look up to. And so this is why you've got to know who you are and what you have the energy, the desire, and the time for when you're choosing all these different options that we have in the industry. And so if you don't want to build people, salon ownership does not have to be the way. I have some amazing clients that I work with who are booth renters, who are salon suite owners, who are, doing the six-figure thing real easy and headed in directions of even greater based on who they are as a brand, right? And so I feel ultimately, this is just my opinion, this is what I'm learning. Many of us really make the moves that we make because we desire a measure of freedom. So I heard many of them say things like, I wanted freedom of, I could go to work when I wanted to. Many of them wanted freedom to be able to be available at their children's events and determine, hey, Tamika dear, determine when they would work or how hard they would work. So many things. But ultimately, what I really heard was people who wanted a measure of freedom. And so I ask you guys today to look at your current situation, right? And go back to why you really started. You may have to dig down in between it. Hey, Scott, good morning. How are you? And really pull out what the real reason that you started. Many of us want a different measure of freedom. Time freedom, financial freedom, right? Creativity, freedom of creativity. That's what many of us desire. But until you can articulate that to yourself, you may find that you're doing things that don't even fully align with your why. They really aren't the way that you really want to be doing it. So look at your situation and say, is this giving me the time freedom that I actually desired? Is this giving me the financial freedom that I actually desired? Is this giving me the creativity that I actually desired? Because what I find oftentimes, because we're in an industry that's really, really creative and we can do it our way, but we have these two business models, a hairstylist or a salon owner that, at one point was like the end all be all. Those were the two big goals. Because they are so prominent in our industry, some of us feel obligated to rock out in those different positions. But there are many other ways for you guys to build your brand, find it fulfilling, have time freedom, and get the coin, right? So you're not obligated to just one or two business models in the industry. So I want you guys to know that you have freedom to evolve. Somebody put freedom to evolve in the comments, right? You have freedom to grow, which what normally happens as you recognize that you're growing, because many of you are stuck, many of you are busy, you have a lot of clients, but you're unfulfilled because you've evolved and the way your business model hasn't changed. The way you operate your business hasn't changed. So you have this new person, that is not the same hairstylist or salon owner that they were 5 years ago, stuck inside this old business model that no longer works for where they are now. So one of the things that I do is I help hairstylists and salon owners to bring clarity to their life and their business. I help them remove things that may be limiting them from finding the freedom. freedom in their finances, in their time, in their scheduling that they actually desire, guys, right? Because I realize that many people are stuck in this old business model, although that's not who they are anymore. Tamika says freedom to evolve. So give yourselves permission, guys, to evolve, and then give yourselves permission to know that your brand can evolve with that, with you, which may mean that you may attract a different type of customer, right? Or, the person that you've become may desire a change in how you operate your business, which may mean that you attract a different type of customer. So I'm okay with the fact that I attract highly driven salon professionals who want to do major things in the industry. They have global visions, and I'm their global vision coach, right? I'm okay with that. I also realize because I'm dealing with such highly driven influencers who have, stories and messages that they want to spread out amongst the world, I won't do 50 to 100 to 200 people at a time, right? I won't coach that number of people at a time. I won't, because there are fewer people in that position than they are people who are still kind of trying to figure out, what they want to do, right? Now, it may mean that the investments that they have to make with me are different because I'm given a greater impact. They get a greater piece of, of me and my coaching and my thought processes and my systems, right? That aren't needed from different target markets within the industry. So a lot of that being okay comes from understanding who I am, right? What I like, what I enjoy, and my desires, and knowing who I'm going to attract because of that. So if you guys feel as if like I'm just not the same person that I was 10 years ago, I've evolved, and I'm not really sure how to redefine my brand. Maybe you've never had mentorship before. It was significant in my career. Many of the people, Samuel, Sandra, good morning, how are you, that have done major things have done them because they've had people of influence, people who have mentored them to that space. And so sometimes it's the missing link, regardless of how long you've been in the industry, because sometimes we look at the number of years that we've been doing a thing and not necessarily what level we're on, right? Because we can do something for a lot of years and still not be, at the level that we need to be in order to actually get full measure, massive growth, in our business. So regardless of, how many years you've been in the industry, if you know that you need to dive deeper into who you've become as a brand and you're looking for massive profit growth in your business, I invite you to join me inside my 3D Success Mentorship and Branding Bootcamp. You have an opportunity to work closely with me about you and your business for 12 weeks, 12 entire weeks. We dive deeply into perspective things that are going to help you really operate at a different space, right? There are different options, and you guys have to allow yourselves, one, to evolve, and then your brand to evolve with it, or you're going to feel unfulfilled. So today I want you guys to give yourselves permission. If this registered to you, if you know that you're really ready for massive growth, new strategies, and like redefining who your brand is, you can go to renewfullcircle.com/3D/success. I'll come back and put it in the comments. renewfullcircle.com/3D-success. That is my 12-week mentorship and branding bootcamp. Exceptional people sign up who have big goals. You gain so much value, one, from the community, right? The mindset of the individuals who are taking it. It's like being in a space with people who get you, who understand where you are and what season you're in, who are sharing, portions of their journey that you can glean from, not copy, that you can glean from, and then results-driven strategies to help you get to your next level. Actually, the live classes don't start immediately, but you do gain immediate access for being a fast action taker and signing up now to my 7-day profit generator course and my 4-week masterclass on people, products, promotions, and profits. So those are some of the early bonuses, and as well as a 30-minute clarity call with just you and I, right? So that as you're taking the course, I can better help you design a path while we're doing that. So how many of you feel that you've evolved as a person, but maybe your brand, your business model has not necessarily evolved with you, or maybe it's time to consider changing your business model? Anyone on the broadcast? Am I speaking to the right people this morning? And so, guys, we are in an industry that allows us to do it our way, right? The salon industry is full of options and alternatives, but each of those have levels, and actually how we develop personally determines how we get to stay in the doors that are opening up for us. And so for those of you who are salon owners, people are still looking for a team. I mean, I hear this all the time. People don't want to work on a team, but a lot of the people who responded to the question I'd asked, they said they wanted a team, right? And if a team is not what you want, and you want to own a booth rental salon, it's okay to establish that in the beginning, right? This is a booth rental situation. You work for yourself. I'm rarely here. It's a space for you to operate and rock out. This is why it's important to know who you are and what you desire, because you will forever be attempting to operate in a way that doesn't align with you. And I truly believe there's a stylist for every situation, and there's a salon owner for every salon owner or salon business model for every way you want to rock out in the industry. Our industry allows us to have options. So if you don't want to be a commission stylist, there's a booth rental salon somewhere, right? If you don't want to work in a salon situation, there is a salon suite somewhere, right? If you rather be in a salon environment and you want to be on a team, you may have to look a little harder. But I think a lot of it is defining your values and what's important to you. Because once you get really, really clear on that, you begin to eliminate some of those choices. Oh, sorry about that. I'm sorry you can't hear me, dear. You begin to eliminate some of those choices that you thought you had to take, or some of those options you thought you had to take. So decide who it is that you are. Decide where you're at in this process. Know that you can switch and change in the industry that we're in, right? It gives us many options to do it our way, but figuring out how we really, really desire to do it, which comes from knowing who we are, is so important, right? And we'll have less disappointment, right? We'll work with people that we really are aligned with. We'll gravitate and attract people to us based on, who we are and how we want to rock out in this space. I actually have a coaching call in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to bid you guys adieu for today. I pray that you received from this broadcast. It's not too late. Booth rental can be a team environment also. Absolutely. And so when you establish what business model you want and then what type of environment you want, say that, and then you'll begin to attract people. Let people know up front so they don't make the mistake and come to an environment that doesn't align with them. So we really can do it our way in the industry. You guys have a super, super amazing day. I pray that this blessed you. I pray that you got a transformational moment, an aha moment, or something that you can use as you continue to grow and evolve and be exceptional in this amazing industry that we're in. Tap the screen for hearts. Show me a little love if you receive something from the broadcast. It's not too late to share the broadcast out with another industry professional. You guys have a super, super amazing day.